women have more testosterone or more estrogen?
I would think it's estrogen.
Most people would say that, and I don't blame them. It turns out even women have more testosterone than estrogen. Now, men have 10 times more than women, but women have 10 times more, at least if they're healthy. The ratio 10 to 1 of testosterone to estrogen. And yet, testosterone for women is not really focused on at all. You don't hear of women taking a supplement like that.
Right. All right, guys. Got Barton Scott here from Upgraded Formulas, changing up the supplement space. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, pleasure. Pleasure's all mine.
Just met you at a mastermind, and I saw you brought one to the table.
Yeah, this is just like a couple of things we do, but we do so much more than supplements. We actually get people well through a process. And as all entrepreneurs should be concerned, energy, right? This is a huge part of why I got into this. And it was years ago. And I was thinking, how do I possibly get myself healthy? And how do I keep people from around that are close to me from dying? I had gone through that experience, and feeling helpless, feeling like there's no solution to be found for someone that helped raise you is not a place anyone wants to be.
Right.
And I had this nagging feeling. I know we haven't talked about this yet, but I had this nagging feeling of there's a solution, and it's there at the fingertips, but it's as if my fingertips were encased inside this black box, and I could tell there's, all right, there's something. I'm close. We're close. It can't be that far off, but also we can't possibly succeed with the options available. So I know before the show you were talking about testing. I was like, yeah, we do hair testing. And the reason why is because you can't increase your energy or your focus, your ability to work those 12 plus hour days as an entrepreneur and get that true return on your time if you're not really healthy. Like I'm talking like athlete level healthy. Because entrepreneurship for sure is the greatest sport. I mean, if you read Mark Cuban's book, he talks about that all the time. He owns the Mavs and yet has loved basketball all his life. And he's like, believe me, there's no sport that's like it because it's 24/7, 365 forever. And if you want a forever level of energy, you have to test, right? So I trademarked a phrase for Upgraded Formulas called test, don't guess. And it just came out of a conversation when I was describing this to someone on a podcast years ago. And I said, and I was just kind of preemptively saying these different things, and it just kind of came out. And I was like, wow, I should really trademark that. And same thing with 8 hours sleep. Someone was like, what does it do? I was like, well, it's the best sleep you've had in years.
Just from one pill?
Yeah, well, from 4, but from the dose. We did a clinical trial on this, which it's the only magnesium product on the market that has a clinical trial behind it. And so it's different. It's not about the form. That's not how the body does it with food. A lot of people have been. This is your cue to listen up if you're listening and you're like, oh, I think I know. Like I take this such and such supplement. Believe me, that's not how nature does it. So I call it bioharmony, because what we're really doing is listening to the body and mimicking that as close as possible, creating a plasma using nanotechnology equipment. And then on the testing side, and we're doing that for all of our minerals. And then we have a testosterone booster that's great for men and women. We've done a fertility clinical trial on that just recently. Wow. So usually only pharmaceutical companies do clinical trials, and they have a forever budget, but when you know something works, there's like just getting proof I felt was important. So that I could sit here and say, hey, it actually boosts deep sleep by up to 250%.
Holy crap.
In a clinical trial. So going from an hour to 2.5 hours will do a heck of a lot for your brain power.
That's a huge increase, dude.
Yeah.
And I take the testosterone booster from Costco. So what's the difference between yours and just a regular testosterone booster?
Sure. So, and that stat, of course, was for either 8 hours sleep or upgraded magnesium. For the larger size, we decided to call it 8 hours sleep. And then the testosterone booster, we're seeing between 30 and 50% in 90 days. And that's a healthy point. So if you're at 900 already, don't expect it to go up to 50%. You wouldn't want it to.
Right. I'm at 570 right now.
Yeah. So if you're at 570, we get most people to say 800 or so.
Nice.
850, 900. And that's within 90 days. It's going to continue to go up some. And that's going to cap off, and it has a sort of balancing effect in the body, because that product is expensive to make. It no one else on the market has done this, where they've taken every single ingredient and made sure that version of the clinical ingredient, or that version is the clinically studied ingredient. So and this is the other part that's key. Then a lot of companies go, well, they don't even read the study, first of all. And they'll take something like Tonkat Ali.
Yeah, I take that.
But they'll just take a regular one. And they know that 90% or more of the market has no idea. They're like, well, I heard just like that. Oh, it says that. Great. Versus like, does it have a trademark? And is it when you look up that, is that the clinically studied version, because that's going to be extracted a certain way, sourced a certain way, grown a certain way, put through a certain process, right? So, if we ever decide to private label our products, and you see something like upgraded magnesium with a trademark, then you'll know that it has our proprietary delivery system, or upgraded iodine has our or upgraded manganese, or memory, or metabolism. Any of these things, right? So, but to take a step way back, so anyway, we do that for all 5 of the ingredients in upgraded tea, and it has this balancing effect where it strips out excess estrogen. So if someone, male or female, has too little estrogen, it won't strip it out. If they have too much, it will help you strip that out. And it has a balancing effect on progesterone. Testosterone, though, most people have no idea. Did you know that, true or false, well, it's kind of a giveaway, but do women have more testosterone or more estrogen?
I would think it's estrogen.
Most people would say that. And I don't blame them. It turns out even women have more testosterone than estrogen.
Wow.
Now, men have 10 times more than women, but women have 10 times more, at least if they're healthy, the ratio 10 to 1 of testosterone to estrogen. And yet, testosterone for women is not really focused on at all. You don't hear of women taking a supplement like that.
Right.
I don't, at least. And I go to all the shows. I know all the people at the top of the health. We're all either friends or peers or both. And I never really want to talk about it. So... anyway, yeah, again, energy. Shilajit is in this, but again, you're probably taking a Shilajit that has heavy metals. If you're like, I take it. Yeah, it's like you're taking the wrong one.
I just found that out.
I can just tell you. So, yeah. Okay.
A lot of the supplements are unregulated, man.
Almost all of it, yeah.
So now I only buy third-party tested.
Yeah, so ours is third-party tested in general, every single product, every single batch. Most companies are not going to batch test. I wish they would. Drives up the cost, and then if you get the report, I mean, it's an ethical dilemma. It shouldn't be a dilemma, but for some people it would be, where it's like you look at it, you have to throw that entire batch away.
Wow,
that could be thousands of dollars, and you get exactly zero profit on that.
You lose money.
You lose. Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a negative, and yet, I think that goodwill and trust in the long term is the right way to do things. And if any business advice generally would be, think long term. And if you feel like your strategy won't work long term, I'm personally not interested in it. Because I don't feel like that's ever going to be your life's work that you're going to look back on and go like, man, I'm proud that I just did this short-term strategy to make money somehow, because that just means that someone else likely maybe not, but if you're just day trading stocks or something and you get good at that, did you really increase value in the world I don't think so.
Definitely not.
So, and did you really get a skill that's applicable? Like, this is a skill, what you're doing here, right? So, yeah, I encourage people to just think that through that lens of like, one, when I'm 90 plus, am I happy that I did it? Did it bring me joy? And did it add real tangible skills to my life? Yeah, and then testing, just to go back to that, test, don't guess.
Yep.
Hair is way better than blood. So blood is you on your best behavior when it comes to deficiencies. Now, the interesting thing, the reason I chose to go minerals is ultimately we're a collection of minerals. We're a collection of elements. We have some bad players in there, like heavy metals, things like mercury, cadmium, arsenic, lead. And you get that from brake dust, for example, sitting in traffic and you're breathing in. It's inescapable. So when people say, well, do I really have to supplement? It's like, well, you need supplements even just for defense. You're thinking supplement, oh, do I need more offense? It's like you need a lot of defense first and foremost, because our water and our air are more polluted, a real stat, 1,000 times more polluted, roughly, either that or more than any other time in recorded history.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I knew about the water. I didn't know about the air.
Outside of like localized things like volcanoes, like just highly localized, where there's a lot of ash in the air. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we could do about that, right?
Air, I mean, your air quality in your house, you should be opening your windows and airing your home out, because it's at least 3 times more toxic inside, believe it or not.
Wow.
Usually the time to do that's going to be like in the morning. Get like a bunch of like door on each side, get a draft going through the house if you can. Yeah, we need to think more about indoor air quality, more about the soil too, because you can't just plant the same crops again and again. Even if it's organic, you got to be rotating crops, because it's just pulling those nutrients.
Right, it's destroying the soil.
Out of the soil, and we've done that for decades and decades. So that is the reason why we don't have the hormone levels of our grandparents. Now, elements build all hormones. Elements build actually all macros too. Think about it.